It's amazing because you are actually sometimes booked up weeks in advance where customers are requesting specifically Ruben. And they're saying, we're willing to wait. What is it that you're doing with these customers that's unique? What's your name and what do you do?
My name is Ruben, last name Gaeta, and I'm a plumber at Monkey Ranch Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical Company.
Thank you for that, Ruben, and we appreciate your loyalty and we appreciate what you do on a daily basis. You have been in the trades for a long time.
Indeed.
How many years have you been in the trades?
It's gonna be 41 years.
41 years.
Yes.
But I only met you 10 years ago.
10 years and almost 11 years.
Almost 11 years. We're going on 11 years.
Yes.
And I'm assuming in 41 years, things have definitely changed from 41 years ago to today.
Oh, big changes, yes.
What would you say the biggest change in 41 years has been?
More than anything, is a lot of the guys that come into the industry, they're lacking troubleshooting. That's what I feel. You know, because I think they take it on themselves that the plumbing is a basic thing that they're trade that they can just pick up and move on. And that's the wrong thing to say, I think, because I see a lot of guys failing on that. And then I say, you know, I seen guys like, oh, I thought you were a plumber like last year. I said, what happened? Oh no, I'm a mechanic or something, an electrician or something else, because I couldn't, there was not enough for me. Because that's not that, because they just people say they crash and burn, you know, because they don't know how to do, you know, like troubleshooting stuff like that. Even though it's simple, but you need to know what's the problem before you can proceed to present options and you know, make your jobs tangible.
Do you think that it's just a lack of training?
I think it's lack of training. Most part, I think, because I see a lot of youngsters, like I tell a lot of youngsters, you know, that took under my wings over my years is, you know, I can show you how to do a lot of things, but basically it's going to be you doing it your own way. And they come from a background from college or whatever they take. But they only give them, they show them, you know, how the codes, about the coatings, everything, but not about the physical work and doing the, you know, knowing the ways to troubleshoot the problems. That's what the problem is.
Got it.
And you know, you need to have a knowledge on that, you know, before you can tell the customer and be successful at the end of the day of, you know, fixing their problem.
So how did you get into the trades? I'm curious, 41 years ago, what made you decide, like, did you always want to become a plumber? Like, where did this journey begin?
Well, you know, actually being a plumber it was a mistake, I think, because I was doing other things, and I was, back in 1984, I had a job at night, believe it or not, restoring phones for the houses.
Oh, wow.
And obviously with technology coming really fast, that job will become obsolete like in a year or a year and a half. I was jobless. And happens to be my cousin, you know, she was a secretary for the plumbing company that I worked for 31 years. And she said, hey, why don't you come and apply there? You know, and so I had to learn to ask for a job, you know, hey, can you give me a job in English? Because I didn't really speak English.
Oh, wow.
You know, so I had to learn English, and I had to learn plumbing at the place that I worked for 31 years.
Now, I know it's rude to ask you how old you were, but how old were you at that time?
I was barely 18. I was going to be 18 or barely 18.
Okay.
But it was, you know, after that, you know, I took a liking of. It was a struggle, you know, because back in the days, it's still, you know, it's kind of hard. You know, a lot of people wanted to teach, a lot of people don't want to teach. And I took it up on myself, like with the plumber. I say, hey, plumber, hey, you saw the job. Let me do it for you. You tell me if it's done correctly. You don't have to pay me. If you want to pay me, that's fine. That's what I used to say. And a lot of guys didn't want to work for free. I was the other way around, you know. But that's the way, because I wanted to learn.
So 41 years ago, you're just starting to learn English. You come into this company. How did you progress? Was it just by by saying that you wanted to do better and better, you wanted to do these jobs and things like that. Tell us about your progression. How did you grow in the company? How did you learn plumbing? How did you learn to sell? How did you learn to interact? And also, how did you learn English?
It was funny, even my ex-boss.
I sorry to interrupt. I've been trying to learn Spanish, and I can't seem to learn Spanish for the life of me.
Well, it's easy. You hang with the right crowd. That's right. So for me, I had to, and that's one of the things that my ex-boss says. I don't want to. He's a nice guy. He goes, you should learn. One of the things, if you want to be up here, you need to learn the language. Which I say, okay. So I started, watching TV in English. I went to adult school at night, to learn the language for a few months, just to say, because try to say the right word, But, and so I became a helper, and becoming a helper, I tried to pick in, tried to see what the plumber was doing, and tried to be one step ahead of the plumber, like the plumber was doing a repipe. I seen him, he needs a 90, so I already had the 90 already. Before he asked me, I already had it clean for him, So that was my thing. I would never wait for things to happen. I made them happen for them, And I see other guys, they do plumbing, heating, and air conditioning and everything. I say, oh, wow, I gotta do that. So I started, asking a lot of questions. That's the thing, People like, shut the hell up, Ruben. I mean, like, not really. I had a lot of good mentors, that they put me to the right path, like they say. And I was happy believe it or not, I was happy being a helper because I was making so much money being a helper. For me, coming from making like $2 an hour back in the day to right away start making like $7.50, I like, wow, I was like, feel so good, So I had a lot of hours saved up because plumbers would tell me, hey, this job is worth this much. You do it in 3 days, 4 days, or you do it in 1 day, you get the same hours, 40, 50 hours. I say, oh, I used to kick butt, do it in an hour, in a day, and then the hours would be mine. Wow. And a lot of helpers were like, how do you do that? I said, well, So that's what I did, and just look and pay attention and ask for. Same thing for heating. I asked, hey, let me do that for you. Let me clean it up. Let me rebuild this for you, and you tell me if it's done right or if it's done wrong.
Love it.
And that's how that's how I became learn how to troubleshoot. And people always say, hey, you can see what I'm doing, but eventually you're gonna do your own thing. Just use what what I have, because everybody's different. And sure thing. That's the same thing I tell all the other guys, and same thing. When I become selling a job, I was a helper, and I was sending him to a callback, and I was sending jobs bigger than the plumbers, sell a job. And my ex-boss, he goes, man, you gotta become a plumber. I say, no plumber yet. He goes, no, you're ready.
But why? Why do you think that you were successful at selling a job?
Because I don't know. It for me, it made it so like a challenge for me so I can fix this the right way for the customer, and in doing so, it requires to be, this is how much it is, this is what it takes to be 100%, and you had no more problems.
So upfront pricing?
Always upfront pricing, and then I had the mentality that I have at those days, it was to always present 3 prices. That's even before.
41 years ago, you were presenting 3 prices.
3 prices.
Before it even became popular.
Because I don't know if you ever heard this old man called Dale Carnegie.
Sure.
That's the only course I took during the day, but to me, I didn't really take a lot of that because I'm still green in English, but even then it was even worse. But I still, some of the guys were explaining to me, what was he saying and everything, and then I just tried to, make it work, and it did.
I remember very clearly you walking into our office 10 years ago, over 10 years ago at this point, and sitting down, and you said that you worked for a company for 31 years, and you don't have a resume.
Yeah, you asked me for a resume.
I asked you for a resume. Sorry, I don't have a resume because I worked for the same company for 31 years. So I said, wow, that's pretty, I think that shows loyalty. And after speaking and after saying, yes, you are definitely the right fit for this company and we want you to be part of our company, I remember saying to you, Ruben, I'm hiring you on one condition. That flip phone that you have in your pocket over here, we're gonna get rid of that. And I'm gonna get you an iPhone, and I'm gonna get you a tablet, and I'm gonna teach you technology. So, someone who's been doing something for so long, what was that like to hear that, wow, I'm gonna have to change, I'm gonna have to start embracing technology, no more paper invoices, things like that. What was going through your mind at that point?
No. I even told my kids, I say, hey, you got to teach me a little bit because they that they're really savvy with that stuff. And they just started laughing, I say, oh, Dad, you're gonna fail. I said, the hell I will. So, that's why, I refused a bunch of times getting the title. I don't know if you remember or something into Heather. Remember Heather?
Yeah.
She really sat down with me and gave me the how to work on those things. And still, but it was a good learning experience, that's the challenge that I take. I never say no and so far that's how I've been successful. I don't see, if it's a challenge come my way, I look the way to fix it, coming on top of it, and being successful at fixing it. And technology is invented by a man, so that's my analogy, So anything is fixable, If it's made by man-made, it can be fixed, one way or another.
Sure.
What
I would say is that many people struggle with embracing change in general. It's hard because, if you think about it, if someone's a plumber, let's say for 5 years, or a tradesman for 5 years, and they come into our company at Monkey Wrench, and we're doing something the Nexstar way. We are doing the 6 steps of the service system, and we're trying to train everyone that we're being uniform and that we're doing the same thing over and over and over. And maybe in their previous company, they weren't doing that. Maybe they weren't giving 3 options. Maybe they weren't using technology. Maybe they weren't doing different things. What advice would you give to somebody to say, how can they embrace change? What's the easiest way to embrace change, and why should they embrace change?
Well, I think, falling under a routine is bad. You got to always innovate and try to be better than yesterday. But always, use some of that, because everything eventually comes back. And like me, I'll be like, oh, wow. I'll be dealing with something, sophisticated, or like a tankless or something. But eventually I start remembering things from the old days and use some of that to the new technology and everything. And it works really good. And it just, don't assume everything is going to be the same all the time. Be open to a new technology, because we're changing, with time. When I started doing plumbing back in the days, it's totally different from what I'm doing now. Back in the days, I didn't use that much couplings. I had to use lead and oakum, melt the lead and so you can make the connection. Nowadays, it makes it easy, just coupling and everything, And so for people to fail and then don't know how to do that stuff, I feel like they don't take pride on what they do. And I take pride on what I do,
So what advice, if I was a helper, if I was an apprentice looking to get into the trades, and I said, Ruben, I want to do a ride along with you for a day, and I'm going to come sit in the passenger seat of your truck. What advice would you give to me about this? Should I go into the trades? Is this a good thing to do, or should I get a job maybe in technology? It seems that technology is really the way of the future, so maybe I should just get into technology. Why even get into the trades at all? What advice would you give to me?
Well, like I told I had the luxury to have some ride-alongs with me. And first of all, I asked them, I said, well, this is something that you look forward doing in the future? Or this is something that you want to do just temporarily until you find something else that you can feel comfortable with?
So you would ask them?
Yeah, I will ask them. I will ask them. And it depends on the answer. I say, because, let me tell you, plumbing, yeah, you probably, because see, what I feel is like a new youngster will call them and talk to a plumber. Oh, I made this much money, this and that. So they get like, oh, I can make that money. But they don't realize what they did to make that money, the struggle, And then from becoming not knowing anything, you had to learn the trade. You had to learn how to talk to your customers. Not just say, hey, you know what, you need this. This is how much it is. No, it doesn't work like that.
Now, I'm assuming you feel like a hero every day.
Yes, especially when I see guys from the old days that had their own company, and those are people that I train.
Wow. Wow, that must make you feel really proud.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately, a few of my friends that passed away already, but they had companies, but there's still a lot of them up there, and they say, hey Ruben, well, hey, thanks for everything.
That's amazing.
How do you do that? It's a good thing they were listening, because you can tell a lot to people, but if they don't listen, that's it.
So what is the most, aside from money, because today it's easier to make money. Mm-hmm. Aside from money, what would you say is the most rewarding part of being someone in the trades, whether you're a plumber or you're an HVAC tech or even an electrician? What is the most rewarding thing that you would say?
For me, it's able to, this is for me, I don't know, everybody has probably a different answer or different. I love what I'm doing, and I love fixing things that are, especially when the customer tells me, hey, you're the fourth plumber here.
Wow.
Okay. And do you know what you're doing? I said, well, and I always jokingly say, oh, well, I never know what I'm doing, but let me take a look at it, and I give them my best shot. And, sometimes I fix the problem, and they say, wow, and that's when they tell me, you're the fourth guy here, and you fixed it and no problem. I said, well, I've been around the block a few times, So that's how, for some reason I have a memory. You can tell me something about, Ruben, you got to do this, and I forget, but then you tell me about a problem with the plumbing or tell me a joke, I remember forever. I don't know why, the satisfaction of being a plumber, I would do what I do right now, it takes me to a different customer every day. To me, I don't think I can be a guy that wears a tie and be in the office. That would drive me crazy, I think. But I admire guys that can do that,
So if someone went through high school, maybe they weren't cut out for college, maybe they weren't cut out to wear that suit and tie every day, would you recommend them getting into the trades?
Definitely. There's nothing wrong by becoming a plumber, because it's one of the trades it's going to be for many years. I don't care how technology, cars can drive themselves, toilets can flush themselves, but there's still a need of repair, until I see a robots coming around. I mean, which would be, I don't think they don't know, to troubleshoot or fix plumbing problems. We're going to be in the business for a long time. And why not be ourselves? Why not be you or anybody, like that, and that's the way I see it, and to me, like I say, I love what I'm doing, and to be successful and to be what you do, literally what you do, you gotta like what you do.
It's amazing because you are actually sometimes booked up weeks in advance where customers are requesting specifically Ruben, and they're saying, we're willing to wait. It's not a dire emergency, but we're willing to wait specifically for Ruben, for customers that you've built relationships with over the last 10 plus years. What is it that you're doing with these customers that's unique, that they're saying, we want specifically Ruben? Because we have many plumbers here.
Well, I mean, to me, just straightforward, give them the insurance that they're gonna, the problem's gonna get fixed the first time. And if there's a problem, I'm 100% there for them at any time. I will not hesitate to answer the phone, even if it just says, could be all the questions not related to the work that I did. I ensure them that, that the work is gonna get done 100% the first time. I have a customer named Sarah Wachtel, well, she always asks for me too. It's a pleasure, making
Is
sure
that my wife?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's your wife. Yeah, she always asks for me too, which is I take pride in that. You know that means I'm doing something right. You know, so that's what I like about it.
Very nice. And I know that technicians, younger guys, or maybe guys that haven't been in the trades for a long time, when they have questions, they call you as well.
My phone rings sometimes, even in my days off. I don't tell them it's my day off because they don't know and they don't need to know. They have a concern. I will ask it the best I will answer the question that the concern they have the best way that I can. And a lot of the guys, they call me back, say, thank you, Ruben, that worked. I'm doing a job, which I say, okay, thank you. He goes, I owe you some tacos. And I told him the other day, man, if you pay me all the tacos you owe me, I'll be eating tacos for like a whole week already. I was just joking with him, you know.
Ruben, 41 years in the business. What advice would you give your younger self 41 years ago when you're first starting out, you're 18 years old, you're barely speaking English, you're just learning to get into plumbing? What advice would you give yourself back then if you knew what you knew today?
Because I even tell the guys, the new guys and everything, that I said, man, you got everything going for you. You got the school, you got everything, you got the language, you got now, you know, and you throwing all that away. I mean, why? And unfortunately, there's a lot of youngsters up there that they got the fear factor that gets in the way, and you know, it's hard for them to let it go, and it's too bad, you know, because some of the guys up there, they can be really good guys, you know, in the industry, and you know, it's a shame that just for the fear factor that gets, you know, to me, I get scared. I get scared every day, you know. But I told them, I said, hey, listen, it doesn't matter if you fail, because Rome was not built in one day. There were fails in between. However, you got to learn how to get up, dust yourself, and move on. And that's how you achieve perfection. Whoever tells you that knows everything, he's full of shit. You know, I don't edit that. You know, that's how I feel. You know, I don't want to be part of that person that, I know everything. You can't tell me. I say, okay, fine. You know, and first thing you know, they'll be calling me back. Sorry, Ruben, what can I do? You know, but that's how I feel about it. You know, it's the fear factor more than anything, and the industry. That's what gets to a lot of guys, a lot of people. You know.
If you had to do it over again, 41 years later, would you become a plumber again?
Without hesitation, I will happy to be a plumber again. Because I love what I'm doing, and I keep loving every day what I'm doing.
Amazing. Thank you, Ruben.
You're welcome.